We start on the JobTestsPortal.com homepage. From the left sidebar, I open the Assessment Tests menu and choose Logical and Inductive. This takes us directly to the Inductive Reasoning Test, where the user can see what the test is about before starting. On the intro screen, I set the timed section to 1 minute. The timer control is important because the tutorial itself is not timed. The real countdown only starts after the practice examples, so the user gets a safe introduction before the pressure begins. The first tutorial question now appears. On the left, there are 2 example grids that follow the same hidden rule. On the right, there are 4 candidate grids, and the task is to pick the 2 that follow that same rule. Here, I slow down and read the grid properly. I compare the corners first. In both examples, the 4 corner cells contain the same shape. The inside cells can be different. They are only distractions, so I select the 2 candidate grids where all 4 corners also match. After that, the explanation appears and confirms the corner shape rule. The user can also use the built-in AI tool to get more detailed explanation for how to crack the nut. I click on Next to move to the next tutorial question. The second tutorial question introduces a different type of rule. This time I do not look at the corners first, I check the middle row. In the 2 example grids, every cell in the middle row has the same shape. The top and bottom rows can vary. So the correct candidates are the 2 grids where the middle row is consistent. Again, the explanation confirms the logic before the real test starts. It is highly recommended to study the explanations properly the first time you want to answer to these kind of questions at a real test. Now the time section begins. In the first real question, the shapes and colors are mixed. The key is color, not shape. I check the 4 corners of each example grid, and in both cases, all 4 corners share the same color. Therefore, I select the candidate grids where the 4 corners also have one consistent color, even if the shapes inside the grid are different. At the next question, I inspect the 4 edge middle positions: top middle, bottom middle, middle left, and middle right. In both examples, those 4 edge positions contain the same shape. I select the candidates that repeat that edge position pattern and ignore the distractions. In the third question, I look at the columns. The examples show that each vertical column contains a set of the same 3 shapes. The order changes, but each column keeps the same combination. So I choose the 2 grids where the columns preserve that same structure. I click Next, but the time is up, and we won't be able to answer the 4th question in the 1-minute tests, which is okay. The result page shows a perfect score. Below the score, the solution breakdown shows each question, whether the answer was correct, and the pattern rule. For deeper learning, I click the AI explanation button. This opens a step-by-step walkthrough for the puzzle. The AI assistant breaks the logic down visually, starting from where to look, which cells matter, and which details are only distractions. In this example, it highlights the 4 corner cells and explains why color consistency is the real rule. This is useful because the test is not just checking whether the user guessed correctly. It helps the user understand the reasoning method behind the answer, so the same logic can be used on harder patterns later. Finally, I open the progress dashboard. Here, the user can track performance across tests, see strengths and areas for improvement, and review the performance timeline for inductive reasoning. The trend curve makes it easy to see improvement over repeated attempts. Hopefully, you enjoyed watching this video with JobTestsPortal.com.